Good morning, everybody. Fine English morning here in sunny Surrey on the borders of Sussex. Actually, Gatwick Airport. So I've got this Auto Trail Frontier. This one's a Frontier that's come in. Came in with a refrigerator fault. The customer that owns the van has taken this vehicle to, I believe, 2 or 3 other companies to get this issue fixed, and all of them have told him that the part is no longer available, which they're correct, they're not for this particular fridge, and that he needs a complete new fridge. So I do work for I believe it's his nephew. I've done many jobs on his nephew's motorhome, and he's asked me to have a look and see if I can sort it before he goes out and spends £1,500 plus on a new fridge freezer, because this model is not your typical, hold on a second, it's not your typical small fridge model. It is a fridge freezer model with a freezer compartment at the top, so these are very expensive and you do not want to be replacing these needlessly if there's no requirement to. And I don't know why somebody didn't find this issue before me. You know, these so-called experts from these big dealers that charge all this money per hour to test this equipment and find faults. And yeah, they obviously couldn't find it. Told him he needs a new fridge, which he nearly ordered. He was going to order one through one of the other companies, and I said, nope, bring it into me, let me have a look, and let me see what I can do. And if it comes down to needing a fridge, what have you lost out? So it's come in, and first thing I went to, a lot of people, sorry, let's go back in. A lot of people go directly to the PCB panel, which is built in here. So on this model, you can see it's currently running on 230 volt or 240 volt. But yeah, this is the PCB board is mostly in there. This board, most people tend to go to this and class this as the problem with the fridge when they go faulty. But that's not always the case. And if it is that, you're unlikely to get one. There is also another board in the back here. This is the power control board. So a bit like a PCB, but like I say, a lot of people go to the front panel, which is also a control board. But this is your main PCB power control board, and this is where all the 12 volt comes in. You've got your 240 volt, you've got your 240 volt going to the elements. And with this particular one, obviously moisture gets in this area. It does have a plastic cover, but there's no seal on this cover, which there isn't from day one, so it's not as if the seal's been lost. But on this particular board, what can happen is, obviously through moisture over the years, I mean, this van is now 14 years old, these connections, all these little connectors here that plug in, the connectors themselves can get corrosion on them. This is the one that goes up to the fridge control panel. So what I've done, or I've taken it all off, I've cleaned up all the connectors, all the plugs, all the pins on the board, but the main culprit on this one was the 12 volt battery supply here. Now if you remove this one, you will find that nothing comes on this board, up on the front screen or anything. And this is where my fault was. It was on the pins on this. Just through corrosion over time, yeah, stopped working. So I took this off, took the board off, cleaned up all the connections and cleaned up all the pins inside the plugs. Now we've got a perfectly good working board and fridge. Again, I'm not quite sure why somebody didn't do this in the first place and check all that, because it was the first thing that I went to. But obviously other people are hoping that they're going to pay out for a brand new fridge and they're going to make money on a fridge and the installation of a fridge, the removal of the old fridge and the installation of a new fridge, and possibly even fix the fridge by doing what they should have done and sell it on and get even more money. But that's not the way I work. My company MCC Services Gatwick. I'm online website. Unfortunately, I'm in Gatwick, so I can't serve everybody around the country. But if you're in the area and you need something fixing, give us a call. But yeah, so basically, I've done my good deed for the week and saved this customer potentially a couple of £1,000 on a fridge, which they almost did go ahead and pay another company to do. So just make sure that if you get a fault on your fridge, that the first thing or one of the things the company has done, don't tell them to do it, see if they do it, see what they tell you they've done, and then maybe do some checks yourself on the board afterwards, and just check all the connections, all the pins, everything. There is companies that can repair the boards if the corrosion's got a bit too far, or the pins and connections have gone a bit corroded to the point that they've gone. There'll be someone that could repair it. In this case, I didn't need a repair, it just needed a clean up from myself. So now we've got a nice working fridge, and the customer can go on their holidays this year when the weather gets better, and yeah, spend their couple of £1,000 that they've saved on maybe having a nice meal out several times, or even a few sites. So I hope this video becomes helpful for other people in the same situation where you found that your fridge, and like I said, the model on this one is the RMD 8555. So this is for this model. Not sure what other models will have the same board, but this particular one is the one that I fixed. So yeah, if it helps you in the future, I'm glad I could help. Speak to you all soon.